no more talk of cookies. A very warm welcome to our meeting today, Wednesday, February the 28th. Very good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are on the planet. I'm Mike Kwasniak, hosting this meeting as usual, and a very warm welcome to you. Sheeta is with us as usual and will be moderating through the session. Sheeta, was there anything that you'd like to add before we pass the meeting to Chuck?
No, not really, but I really want to thank everyone who's been attending the classes. We're just having a wonderful, informative time, and thank you. And if you know of someone who could be interested in our class, let us know and let them know. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Sheeta. Eckhart, of course, is with us. Eckhart, was there anything that you'd like to add before we move on?
I really don't have to, except I wanted to thank Chuck for being with us today, giving us his annual State of the Union of Mac Affairs. So I'm looking forward to your presentation. Thank you very much, Chuck, for being such a loyal supporter of our organization. Thank you.
Thanks, Eckhart. As usual, a quick reminder about the NMUG website. Everything that you would ever need to know about NMUG is available on the website. So it shouldn't be necessary. You're very welcome to post to me and to post to other members of the board whenever you wish if you need help. But make the NMUG website your first port of call, because you should find the answer to your questions if it's anything to do with our meetings or our classes. And one or two announcements before we go on. So we're on a bit of a quest. We had a board meeting a few days ago, and we were talking about friendliness, really. And it's lovely to hear the banter before the meeting today. Absolutely lovely. And we want to make this, despite it being an online group, as warm, friendly, and face-to-facey as we possibly can in the absence of live meetings. And one of the things that one of our lovely members suggested just a few days ago was to ask everybody to create some kind of profile picture in their Zoom account. Now, at worst, when we're all at the meetings, this is what folks are faced with. Thankfully, lots and lots of our members are already using icons. So this is a screenshot from about 5 minutes ago. And you can see that less than half of our members have either live video or a picture. It's very easy to add a picture. It might be a picture of you, it might be a picture of your cat, it might be a holiday picture, it doesn't matter. But what we'd really like to see going forward is this, so that everybody is represented with some sort of illustration, because it just makes it friendlier. And to that end, we've created, it's so easy to do, but I've created a tiny PDF. It'll be available on the website when Chuck's meeting is added to the website in a couple of days' time. We'll upload it to the chat during today's meeting. So if you'd like to download it and seize the opportunity, we would really appreciate it, because we'd love to see you.
And I did just add it to the chat, Mike.
Thanks, Sheeta. Next week, Christian is back. Brilliant speaker, as you all know, and he's talking iPhone widgets. And this Saturday's class, Sheeta just mentioned our classes. This has been a tremendous year. I've attended all of them so far, and they have been the best collection of classes that I've ever attended. And Joe is with us this Saturday, talking about take control of your digital legacy. In other words, make sure that everything is in place in case something catastrophic happens in your life. Many of us have had personal experience of this. I certainly have, in the past 12 months, trying to help a friend out whose husband hadn't actually given her the password to his Mac, and it was a nightmare. So essential viewing, really. And as ever, when Joe is speaking, the class comes provided with a free copy of Joe's wonderful Take Control book. So if you haven't already signed up, there's plenty of time to do it, and we hope that you'll join us this Saturday. And with that, I would be very pleased to hand the meeting over to Chuck. Most of you, I think, have met Chuck already, but he's worked as chairman of the Apple User Group Advisory Board for more than 4 years, made speaking appearances at any number of Apple conferences. He's editor-in-chief of the MUG Center, one of the longest-running Apple User Group resource sites on the web. And most importantly, since 2000, the year 2000, he's delivered MacVoices, maybe the most popular source of tech-oriented content in existence, I'm guessing. Chuck? It's
If you say so.
I was waiting for you to nod.
Who am I to argue with you?
Thank you very much indeed for joining us today. I will just stop my share so that you can take over. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, thank you very much for having me. I greatly appreciate it. And listen, before I get started, I want to put in a plug for that class with Joe on Saturday. I can't think of too many things that are more important than taking care of that, because one of the topics we'll talk about today is just how involved technology has become in everything. And that just makes it that much more important for those that you care about that might be left behind, to have access to everything that you have done, do. We all use digital tools. So yeah, and Joe is the guy to help you through all of it, because he has really worked it out in an organized fashion. So that's my plug for Joe. I'll send Joe a bill for that later. When Sheeta contacted me, we were talking about, what to talk about. And I thought that I might give you a look at CES this year through the MacVoices lens. Not just the products, but how I go about trying to cover it and the tools I use, as well as some of the interviews. So that's what you're going to hear. And of course, toward the end, we'll have time for questions if you want to talk about that. If you just want to talk about the Apple world in general, that's fine with me. So as I think it was up on the screen when we started, 2.5 million. I'm having to quote some of this because I don't memorize it. 2.5 plus million net square feet of exhibits. Think about that. 4,300 plus exhibitors, including 1,400 startups. 135,000 plus attendees from 150 countries. According to the published stats, 5,000 plus global media and content creators, 250 conference sessions. It's just absolutely crazy. So as you can imagine, with 4,300 exhibitors, I can't get to all of them. In fact, I can't get to even a small percentage. So the way I approach and have learned to approach CES, the first year I went and was just completely overwhelmed. And that seems to be the first thing you have to do, is go and be overwhelmed and recognize that you then need some kind of methodology. So because I sign up for the press list, I get of a ton of press releases early. Try to go through those, work through the ones that look interesting, look like they might be Apple related. And of course, at this point, I can almost justify covering anything from an Apple perspective, because pretty much everything has an app of some kind to control it or interact with it. So it's a matter of picking the things that are the most interesting. There was a time that you really, had to pick and choose. Now you can pretty much justify anything. But that also means that, I just don't want to go and start a spray and pray kind of thing, that you want to go and pick the key things. So that's what we do. I have a friend, Norbert Frosse, who acts as my Sherpa and camera guy when we go. So we go as a team, and we do our best to get as many interviews as we can. The idea that I go with is I want to take you along to CES with me, and I want to put you on my shoulder or put you off to my side and see what it's like to go through the process of walking up to a booth and saying, "Hi, what are you showing? What's interesting about it? Why should I care?" Not quite in that challenging a term, because usually I've already decided that I want to talk to that individual. Not always, though. Sometimes, there are those wild card things that you stumble across that you just have to stop and see. Then the idea is, okay, we're going to have hopefully about a 3 to 5 minute conversation, 7 minutes. Some folks just love to talk and they just run with it. And that's great. But sometimes, there's just not a lot to say. It's like, this is my product. This is what it does. And here's the website. Okay, great. We cover a fair amount of things that are not yet released or are coming. We try to stay away from those things that are absolutely purely speculative. I made a rule for myself this year that I was not going to don any headsets or glasses or anything like that because it was the pre-Vision, Apple Vision Pro. And I only violated that once for a set of glasses that I'm wearing readers right now, but they are self-focusing. So they focus up close, they focus far away, and they really did work. They're very much as far as I'm concerned, an alpha state, but the technology definitely worked. So the equipment we use, we use several cameras. I don't know if any of you are familiar with any of the DJI items, but well, that's great. I just zipped it closed instead of open. But this little gem here has been a great boon to me. This is the DJI camera. It's a 4K camera. And it is, of course, it's ridiculously small. So we have, there's not a lot of weight to tote around the show floor, which is really important. You can equip this with 128 or 256K memory card, and you have literally hours of time to record on. The battery life is fair. Sometimes we either have to have an external battery pack connected or just charge it whenever we take a break. But it goes well, mounts on a tripod, so we always have that static shot. The second thing we use